The UEFA Champions League is one of the most prestigious football tournaments in the world, and with its recent format changes, understanding the rules surrounding player suspensions has become increasingly important for both fans and teams alike. One of the key aspects of this new format is the cycle of yellow cards and how they impact player eligibility, particularly as teams advance through the stages of the tournament. In this new iteration of the Champions League, players will face suspension after receiving 3 yellow cards. This rule is critical, especially considering that the tournament now features 2 additional matches in the league phase, bringing the total to 8 matches instead of the previous 6. Furthermore, with 16 teams competing in 2-legged playoff rounds, the stakes are higher than ever. The regulations regarding yellow cards are outlined in Article 63 of the Champions League rules. It is crucial to note that a player who receives 3 yellow cards will be suspended for 1 match. Following this initial suspension, the accumulation of further yellow cards leads to additional suspensions, with the threshold set at 5, 7, 9 cards, and so on. This structured approach ensures that players are held accountable for their conduct on the pitch, while also allowing teams to strategize around potential suspensions. In addition to the standard yellow card suspensions, the rules also stipulate that if a player is sent off with a red card, they will automatically be suspended for the next match in any UEFA club competition, including the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, and the UEFA Super Cup. The UEFA Control, Ethics and Disciplinary Body has the authority to impose further sanctions for serious infractions, which could extend beyond the current competition. As the tournament progresses, the implications of accumulating yellow cards become even more significant. Before the league phase begins, players will be suspended for the next match after receiving 3 yellow cards that do not result in a red card. This suspension pattern continues for any odd-numbered yellow cards received thereafter, such as the 5th or 7th yellow card. An interesting aspect of the rules is that after every 2 rounds of the competition, the count of yellow cards that does not lead to a suspension is reduced by 1. This means that players can potentially reset their yellow card count, allowing them to play more freely in the subsequent matches. It is also important to note that all yellow cards are wiped clean at the end of the quarterfinals. This means that players who have accumulated yellow cards will not carry those into the semifinals, providing teams with a fresh slate as they vie for a place in the final. This reset is particularly crucial as teams look to field their best players during the most critical stages of the tournament. As we look at the current roster of players who are at risk of suspension due to yellow card accumulation, several notable names stand out. For Inter Milan, players such as Dumfries, Barella, Pavard, and Asllani are on the watch list. Real Madrid has key players like Bellingham, Rudiger, and Modric facing similar scrutiny. Other teams, including Liverpool, Juventus, and Bayern Munich, also have players who could be impacted by these regulations. The situation is dynamic, with clubs needing to manage their lineups carefully to mitigate the risk of suspensions that could affect their chances of advancing. In conclusion, the new rules regarding yellow cards in the UEFA Champions League have introduced a heightened level of strategy for teams and players. Understanding these regulations is vital for fans and clubs alike, as the implications of yellow card accumulation can significantly influence the outcome of matches. As the tournament progresses, keeping an eye on the players at risk will be essential, as their availability can make or break a team's campaign in this prestigious competition.